real-life West Wing shouting match just feet away from the Oval Office, with the president witnessing it. According to Axios, Elon Musk and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent duked it out in the halls of the White House last week.
The cause? The two men clashed over a dispute about the IRS, but quickly it got more personal than that. The two traded barbs, with Bessent slamming Musk over overpromising and under-delivering DOGE budget cuts. Musk quickly hit back, labeling Bessent as a Soros agent, that's a quote, and alleging he ran a, quote, failed hedge fund. One witness said it was two billionaire middle-aged men thinking it was WWE in the halls of the West Wing.
The chest-to-chest clash capped off with Elon Musk unfollowing Bessent on X. The White House press secretary Caroline Leavitt writes in a statement, "Well, it's no secret President Trump has put together a team of people who are incredibly passionate about the issues impacting our country."
Meanwhile, Musk is saying he's stepping back from his DOGE duties. His announcement comes as Tesla saw a 71% drop in Q1 profits. X users are sounding off about the disagreement. One user writing, quote, "This administration is a D-list reality show. Such an embarrassment."
Entrepreneur Miriam Cooley says Elon is under most of the pressure and scrutiny. He's taking way too much unnecessary heat, and it's not healthy for him. Look, I kind of agree with Caroline Leavitt that they can argue. That's fine. They have disagreements. Trump has put together a team of people who have some real profound disagreements in the hopes that ideological differences make for stronger policy, and they're going to work those out, sometimes in private, sometimes even in public, and that's good for transparency and accountability. And I don't care at all that they yelled at each other. I like both Scott Bessent and Elon Musk. Both of them are more proximate to my own ideological leanings. I think it is fair, frankly, of Bessent to say that Musk has overpromised on DOGE, and that, in fact, unless these cuts are done via rescission, unless there's congressional action to make them permanent, they could all just vanish. So I think that's a real accusation to make. Elon isn't stepping away because he's suddenly becoming unpopular, though, within the administration. He's stepping away because he had a special government employee status that is about to run out of time. He will still be very, very involved in the Trump administration.
I just find the whole thing to be juvenile. Like you said, if you elect a reality show president, you're going to have a reality show in the office often. I mean, we saw the president arguing in front of the TV cameras with Zelensky. Now we saw Elon Musk arguing with Peter Navarro, calling him a moron. And now we're hearing about this argument with Bessent. But I mean,
I agree that he's a moron.
I think that there are better ways to have conversations, right? And so the Caroline Leavitt "boys will be boys" is not appropriate when grown men are supposed to be running our country, and it's becoming embarrassing even here and abroad. I understand there's going to be disagreements, but there has to be some civility because you are leading from the top down. I also think that, Bessent is in the right because he has a Congress-approved job. Elon Musk gave himself a role. Him and Trump decided to make up a whole department, and he's not going to be dictated to by somebody who just really has a.
Well, that makes it sound like there's something inappropriate about it. He was a special government employee. DOGE.
A lot of people don't like Elon Musk.
Well, they're
a lot of
welcome not to
Republicans
like
don't
him,
like
but
what he's doing.
They're welcome not to like him, but he just the Digital Services Act to overhaul the Obamacare website is the legal framework for DOGE's existence and what Elon Musk is doing. But there was always a timer on it, and that timer is about out. And I think the best thing I can say about what Elon has done is called attention to the enormous amounts of waste, fraud, and abuse. The spending on foreign projects that are clearly not popular with the American people. That was Trump at his most effective during his State of the Union-esque address, where he was calling out the spending that was uncovered. And how can Democrats even respond to that? Funding just ridiculous research and programs all over the world. But to actually make them go away forever, Congress has to do something. And this is my fundamental problem with the Trump administration so far, is that at this unique opportunity in time where Republicans actually control all three branches of government, and they can even do rescissions to spending without the need to overcome the filibuster, they have an unprecedented, rare opportunity. They may never have it again. They may not have it again for years, to actually make permanent the cuts Elon Musk has identified, and they are not doing it. And that is a tremendous source of frustration for me, someone who wants to do many of the things Elon talks about doing, and perhaps that's what Scott Bessent was frustrated with as well, and why they started yelling at each other. I don't think he's a Soros agent. If anyone's a Soros agent, it's Peter Navarro, but I...
I mean, Elon Musk keeps claiming fraud and not pointing to any specific proof. He keeps, like, under-delivering. He's pointing to how much money we've saved, but not actually showing us. And now we're selling $5 million access to have some type of visa to get into this country. And so we're trying to make up money other ways. So I think he's pivoting. The whole administration is pivoting because these cuts that are also affecting Republican
You mean
voters.
the gold card visa to bring people in? I like that idea.
The same people who don't like immigration and don't want new people.
I don't like it. I don't dislike
They want people to pay
immigration.
$5 million to skip all the steps. I get it.
That's fine with me.
But my point is that there's not a good strategy that's actually proven effective. And I think that's the difference between Bessent and Elon Musk arguing, because you have to prove the fraud, right? You cut all these jobs. Some of them, like somebody I interviewed, was a veteran that voted for Trump that also was part of these job cuts that worked for the federal government. There are several people like that. That was one of many stories. We're talking about tens of thousands of jobs that you want to make permanent. These are people that are not going to vote for Republicans again in the midterms because they're not seeing a better economy. And they also were affected in negative ways by all these choices that Elon Musk specifically
The federal
making,
government is not
someone
a jobs
that they didn't
program.
vote for.
Federal government is not a jobs program.
It's not a jobs program, but even for veterans, it's a way to continue to serve your country after you leave the military. And so even people like that are getting cut. And I don't think it's a jobs program. I think it's time to figure out a strategy towards letting people go rather than giving them a bullet-pointed 5-point list to tell you what they've done this last few days and then firing them.
I am very grateful to veterans and the sacrifice they've made for our country, of course, and we have an obligation to attend to their health needs, their psychological needs. We owe a debt to them, certainly. I don't think a guarantee of a federal job is the right way to help our veterans. And in fact, which unfortunately, there's a tremendous veterans preference in federal hiring that I know from people who work in government is a huge, huge problem, that they cannot hire people, kind of the people who they want for those roles, because the second they open a position, it gets mobbed by veteran applicants that that they just can't get around hiring. This is a massive government efficiency problem. I am for merit. I am not for race-based or gender-based or any other identity-based hiring or admissions in universities or in jobs. In fact, I want to make it illegal. So the idea that the federal government itself gives a status-based preference is, I think, totally anathema. If I was in charge of the government, that would be perhaps the very first thing I would change.
If I was in charge of the government, I would stop people from hiring their friends, like Elon Musk, in a position that no one voted them in for, doing stuff that's detrimental that both parties don't fully agree with. I mean, we can't even come to an agreement about the State Department and USAID. There's people that are actually dying, and I know I don't want to be too dramatic, but because of the decisions of Elon Musk, someone that no one voted for. He didn't have to campaign. He didn't have to get approval for some of the strategies that he's putting forward. The only approval was that President Trump said, yes, friend, have this job. You funded my campaign. Come on, come work for me. And now he's going back to Tesla, where I think he should stay.
All right, should the government get involved in how many children you have? We'll discuss. More Rising right after this.